What's up, my name is Devin. I also go by Infinite or Prob by Infinite, and today I'm going to be showing y'all a couple of things that I do to make my beats a little bit more unique and help them stand out from other people's beats. So first, I'm going to play the beat for y'all just so y'all know what we're going to be working with. And for the people who don't like the beat being played first, I'll leave a couple timestamps down below so you can just easily skip into the video. And then after that, I'm going to be breaking the beat down. And when we're breaking the beat down, we're going to be giving y'all the tips to actually make more unique beats. West Coast beats specifically. Now, if you're wondering why, hey, yo, Infinite, why are you putting the finger next to your earphone like that? It's because it's broken. This is what it looks like if I don't do anything, bro. I need new headphones, bro. Just ignore me looking goofy, bro. Now, before we do the breakdown, I want to let y'all know I'm doing a 60% off Black Friday sale until the end of December. So if you're watching this in 2025, congrats. You have access to all of my kits for the lowest price that they're going to be all year. So if you ever thought about getting a kit, right now is the perfect time. And this video is a great example because all of the drums I used are in Gatekeep Drums Volume 1, which is one of my favorite drum kit that I've been using lately. That's enough about drums though. We're going to get into that later. Let's start with the melody because that's what I did first. So if we go over here to arrangement 1, you're going to see what the original sample looked like. And this is actually going to give the first tip. And that tip is use VSTs that you're not normally using. So West Coast beats, a lot of people are using Analog Lab, Purity, Expand, Synology, Omnisphere. So if you're trying to make something that stands out, an easy way to do that is just to use a VST that stands out. And from my knowledge, some people do use Sky Keys, but not a lot of people use Sky Keys for West Coast beats. And if they are using Sky Keys for West Coast beats, it's a relatively new thing. All right, so first things first, we got the first preset, which is the About Time pad. This is what it sounds like. Next, I got a synth from Sky Keys. This one's called About Time. Dope thing about this one is that it has a lot of movement to it, which is going to be really nice to help spice up your beats, especially when you're doing a melody like this. Like, as you can see, it's just a lot of chords. There isn't like a synth lead or bells or any counter melody like that. So finding bounce and movement in the chords is going to help give your beat a little bit more bounce as well. Third layer. I was like, bro, I'm not doing no counter melodies in this, so I got to make sure that these keys sound, or like the chords sound real nice. So we got 3 layers on it so far. This one is the affected section, and it's called About Time. Oh, real quick, I forgot to mention, I made all of these chords on top of this percussion loop from Splice right here. And then for the effects on that perk loop, it's just reverb, EQ, and then pancake 2. This is just making it go from right to left, left to right in your earphones. So at this point, I was like right here with it. I'm like, okay, this is cool, this is cool, this is smooth. But I felt like it needed more processing, more layering, more other sounds, everything. So the first thing I did was go into Contact, and I opened up, once again, another VST that people aren't really using for West Coast beats, which is the Des Wright Freak 2 plugin. You feel me? This is not an endorsement, this is not a sponsorship. I just used it and it helped me get like a really cool beat. You feel me? First, I got the go-to bass. I just took the bass notes from all of the chords, layered it underneath. I wasn't trying to do nothing crazy because I was just trying to fill out frequencies and make the sample feel more full, more cool, more textured, have more depth, all that stuff. Layering is really going to help you get there. And then the very last layer, we're gonna go into Freak 2 one more time because I like the chords, I like the bass, I like the perk loop. Everything's cool, but I just felt like it needed more movement. You feel me? I felt like it felt a little stale. So you know what? Shout out Max Shooter. Max Shooter has a preset in Freak 2. You feel me? Shout out, bro. It's called the Signal Keys. We just took the same exact chords once again, and we put it on here. And I'm telling you right now, these chords right here in this preset took everything to a whole nother level. Shout out Key and Peele if you get the reference. But yeah, it took it to a whole nother level, bro. And there's no effects on that. I just threw on EQ to cut out the lows because we had like the bass. Didn't want anything getting muddy, but just out the box. That's low-key a beat right there. But yeah, that's just how it sounds straight out the VST though. Now, one more tip before we do get on to the next part of me making this sample. It is to spice up your chords. So usually with my chord progressions, we can just get rid of this. If I wanted to do like some cool like R&B stuff and then flip it into West Coast, I would just hit like, boom, like a little minor 7th chord. You know what I mean? This is like very typical for me. And then just go put it until it matches up in the scale again, and then mess around and kind of do something like that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but like I said, we're trying to make things a little bit more unique, a little bit different. So a way to do that is to not start where the root note of your scale is. You know what I mean? And sometimes I got to remind myself that when you're making melodies, you're making beats, you don't always have to start on the note of the scale that you're in. You know what I mean? So you can just start right here. What I start? B. You know what I mean? And then you just build the chord from there. And when I was making the melody, I was just like adding notes, taking away, and I was just playing it constantly like this. Like, okay, that's not cool. Add that one. Okay, cool. Wait, maybe right here. And I just kept on doing that for a cool like 20 minutes, bro. Actually, how long did it take me to make this beat? Hour and a half. You feel me? And you know what? Sometimes you need to crank out beats really quickly. You know what I mean? Just because so you can extend your catalog, have more beats to send out to other people. But sometimes you need to make those beats that takes like 2 hours to make because you're really just honing your craft, trying to take your sound to a new level. You know what I mean? So if you ever make a beat and it takes a little bit longer, like an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours even, don't get discouraged off it. Sometimes you need that to really level yourself up as a producer. You feel me? I wish I could tell y'all how I got these chords. I wish I can give y'all some sauce, but I can't, bro. I really just went in here and just note by note and listened to it until it sounded cool. And then I moved on to the next one, note by note, note by note, note by note, note by note. I will give y'all a little bit of sauce right here. Not making your chords fully touch each other. That sounded crazy, but what I meant is like not having them fully connected like this. Having the space right here creates more bounce in your beats, and it's not something that's going to work every single time, but it can work and it can elevate your beats from time to time. It just depends on what you're making, what you're adding, and everything like that. So I made sure to have like a lot of space in between the chords, just so adds more space, adds more bounce. That's a little tip for y'all though. Now, the last part for creating this sample was adding some vocals. I just found these cool vocals on Splice. I threw a bunch of effects on them. You know what I mean? Sound Godizer, Fruity Chorus, Fruity Phaser, Valhalla Vintage Verb, Fruity Delay, and the Pro Q3. This is just an EQ. You know what I mean? You can use the Fruity Parametric EQ, the one that comes stock. I'm not doing anything crazy with this. So if you use the Fruity Parametric EQ2, same thing. You will get the same exact sound. I'm just used to using this one. If you like this mixer preset right here, it is actually available in Legacy 2, but all the mixer presets is basically a free add-on to the kit. So if you want to copy these exact same settings, be my guest. But if you do go download the free version of Legacy 2, you can get them. So you just drag and drop them. Makes it easier for you. So before we play the whole sample with everything together, I'm going to show y'all the vocals without the effects and then with the effects.
I'll be out there for you, and I'll always be there for you. It's crazy how much I do, and everything that you do. No matter where you're going, I'll be out there for you, and I'll always be there for you. It's crazy how much I do, and everything that you do. No matter where you're going.
Oh my God. gosh, that's so fire, bro. It's so fire. Now let's go over to the other arrangement page, and then this is where the beat comes in. So I just took the sample, pitched it down by 200 cents. I threw it on a mixer preset, and then I just added a little bit of EQ, and that's it, man. Just cutting out those lows because I knew I wanted to throw a bass in there or an 808, so I had to just cut out all the low ones so we could save room for a knocking 808, bro. Now the next tip for making your beats more unique and having them stand out is to use drum sounds that other people aren't using and making patterns with drum sounds that other people aren't doing as well. So for instance, for a beat like this, you would normally throw down a clap. This time I was like, let me throw the rim in there, bro. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of expected to go with a clap. So let me hit the rim real quick so it's a little bit different. So I got the alpha rim that's in Gatekeep Drums Volume 1. Remember, 60% off until 2026. If you're watching this in 2025, you lucked up. If you didn't, I am sorry, bro. You're gonna have to catch the next sale, brother. And then with this, I kind of went with more of like a trap or like New York bounce with it. Because, you know, we can just do this, go boom, boom, and then maybe hit like a roll right here. Do something like this. Like this is very West Coast right here. You know what I mean? That's cool. But like I said, trying to make things a little bit more different and unique. So we gotta hit more of like a different bounce. You know what I mean? And you know what? Little side tip. Take inspiration from other genres and mix it into your own. Because this is definitely like trap, New York kind of stuff. Like doing this part right here. I hear that a lot in like Skrilla type beats. You feel me? But I'm like, let's throw that in the West Coast. You know what I mean? And then doing the little extra bounce right here. Is usually more of like a trap thing. I see a lot of trap producers do that. So I'm just like, let's just throw that in the West Coast. You feel me? Then after that, I just threw in a kick. And this also goes into using patterns that other people don't really use. Because, you know, West Coast beat, we can just hit a typical, usual. Gets the job done, but if you want to be a little bit more unique, you can just take things and then move them to where you need to be to make it a little bit different. So for instance, we can take a... We can like slide this to the side a little bit. Yeah, maybe that sounds a little awkward. Take this one out. And then boom, you got like a little bit more unique pattern when it comes to making West Coast beats. So now this is what the beat sounded like at this point. I'm gonna get into the mental of everything about it, bro. So I'm like, all right, cool. What's next, man? Hey, we still had to keep it West Coast. I love layering the open hats. But like in a lot of my beats, I usually just take the open hats and layer it onto the kicks. This one, I kind of just wanted to take a step outside and try to put it in a couple other places that the kicks aren't hidden to make an attempt to make it even more bouncy. Then after that, just start adding in the hi-hats, bro. And this, I was just like, I'm gonna just throw down whatever I think sounds cool. Then next, I just took the kick pattern, added it over to the 808, go-to spins. I wanted it to be a little different, not too different. I still love my spins, bro. But then I just made it match up the root notes. If you go back over to the chords, you'll see B, C sharp, F sharp. Oh yeah, my bad. I pitched everything down by 2. B, C sharp, F sharp. I pitched everything down by 2. So we're now at A, B, E. And then I wanted to throw in a couple more sounds just to kind of keep it a little bit more on that West Coast sound, not try to stray away from it too much. You know what I mean? I was really trying to have a fusion of like a whole bunch of different things. That melody is a little bit more R&B. The drums are a little bit more trappish, New Yorkish, and then the percussion is still gonna be West Coast. So we gotta add the lasers in, bro. I threw in a shaker just cause like, why not? Sounds cool. And then lastly, I just threw in this hi-hat roll right here. This also goes into the previous tip of like using sounds that other people aren't really using. This is a weird hi-hat roll and I haven't really seen anyone use it, partly because like I made it and it's still relatively new, but you know what I mean? Like, not too many people have this hi-hat roll. It's not something as like prevalent as a spins 808. So when you use this sound right here, you're gonna instantly stand out because people are gonna be like, yo, what is that? And here's what it sounds like in context with the beat. Which just tough. I really like that addition. I'm really happy I ended up adding that in. I like it so much that I made a break in the arrangement where that's the only thing playing with the sample. So with that being said, let's do a little final listen through. We finna get up out of here, bro. Man, so with that being said, I'm finna get up out of here. My name is Devin, also by Infinite, powered by Infinite. Remember, 60% off all sounds, gatekeepsounds.com. First link in the description. This was how to make your beat stand out, be more different, unique. Let me know which rapper you can hear this on. I personally hear Lil Peep, but I would love to hear y'all opinions. And I'm out.